Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tom's Page Turning Tuesdays. Today we're going to start chapter 5. Let's jump right in. November 13th, 1996. It's been raining off and on all morning. I stop at the agency's front door, zip up my sweater, and grab an umbrella. Off to see your counselor? Sunita asks. She's not a counselor. She's a shrink, as in one who intends to shrink my troubles away. I bet it's going better now. Yeah, mostly I've just been regurgitating chunks from the past, my background, family stuff. Is it helping? I don't know. I guess it's kind of a relaxing break and it gets me out of this hellhole, but eventually I'll have to address the current situation. That's when, shit gets real. Booyah! Word to your mother. Do I sound like I have street cred? No, not at all. Fuck you. Talk to the hand. Today, in the mirror's reflection, I see that the window drapes have been open, but this gray sky doesn't add any light into the room. On the glass, I notice droplets of rain, first clinging to the panes, then slithering helplessly down towards the sill. There's water slowly falling from the corner of the window's upper ledge, drop by drop, single file through time. I slow my mind down to a single thought. With sadness, I think about my mother, Mare, the one who dropped me off in the middle of the night at a god-awful place. I close my eyes and I'm back in Cliff's garage, continuing my thoughts about my father's visit in San Francisco. Dad's visit is helping me see my stepfather in a whole new light. John is mean, aloof, and invariably serious. He's much too smart for humanity and is forever angry with the world for not being worthy of his intellect. My father, on the other hand, has more common sense, creativity, people skills, wit, and originality than John will ever have. He might not be as book smart as John, but he's certainly more well-rounded. I finally have a man, a real deal dad to admire and model myself after. Did I mention he does voices and that he tickles us? On the last day of his visit, we race out the door to greet him before he even reaches our apartment. After showering him with hugs, we follow him to his rental car and take our seats. Then we look at our father with eager eyes, wondering what he has planned for us. Today, my little Brussels sprouts, we're going to the Fleischhacker Zoo, and off we go. Dad entertains us with more accents and impressions. A tough guy named Derek from Dorchester, a snobby French waiter, and a kind Japanese mama-san who works at a bathhouse and wants to scrub our backs with a long wooden brush. When we get to the zoo, he asks, did you know that at the zoo, qualifications are irrelevant? He parks the car and grabs his Bowick travel bag from the trunk. He reaches in, pulls out a sweater, and hands it to me. It's big, thick, and heavy, as if spun from the fleece of a woolly mammoth. This came all the way from Iceland, he says, smiling. I pull the sweater over my head. Then it must be warm. Do you know where Iceland is? He asks. No, but it sounds cold. I push my arms into the sleeves. That's right, kiddo. Hey, look, it fits you perfectly. You look sharp. I'm rubbing the soft, smooth sweater. I don't feel sharp. He tassels my hair, looking down at me with paternal love. I love the sweater on me. I love my father for buying it, for thinking of me in Iceland and bringing it all the way to California. I love that it came from another part of the world. I love that he does not have a sweater for Shelley, Chris, or Molly, for I am his only son. My father loves me for loving the sweater, and I love him right back for loving me for loving the sweater. We share a great father-son moment until Shelley starts pulling on his arm, begging him to get going. He buys our tickets and we enter the zoo. Let's go to the petting zoo first, Molly says. Now, I understand wanting to introduce children to animals in a safe, controlled environment. However, petting zoo animals are typically old and arthritic, or fat and gassy, or so lazy and diseased that they can be unpleasant, unpredictable, and sometimes just plain mean. Some have chunks of ear missing, others have mucus-covered eyes. I've seen animals with only 3 legs in there, and others with moist goiters protruding from their sides. I've been to a petting zoo before with my god family, and I did not like it. Today's visit would ensure I'd suffer lifelong psychological damage. Seconds after reluctantly entering the pen, I sense something odd. It's as if the animals are drawn to me. At first, I feel like Tarzan or Dr. Dolittle, full of animal magnetism, but as my excitement turns to fear, They crowd even closer. The next thing I know, I'm surrounded by a mob of critters: bunnies, ducks, swans, peacocks, pot-bellied pigs, chickens, lambs, turkeys, and baby alpacas. The animals are bumping into me with greater and greater force, moving me away from the gate and into the corner of the enclosure. Since this is a benign petting zoo, no one notices the "help, I'm going to die" expression on my face. I find myself locked in a stare down with a one-horned goat with a funny look in his eyes. The lecher rubs his head into my chest, then it extends its long gray tongue and licks my face from chin to hairline. Frozen with fear, I cannot move a muscle or scream for help. Suddenly, the goat springs up on its hind legs, straddling on its front legs on my scrawny shoulders, and proceeds to mount me. Is that a goat penis I feel on my stomach? It suddenly occurs to me the beast is aroused by the scent of my rare Icelandic sweater. The sweater is an aphrodisiac. I'm helplessly caught in the throes of a sexual death trap that's spinning dangerously out of control. We'll stop there for today. That's a pretty disgusting visual. So, with that in mind, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on another edition of Tom's Page Turning Tuesdays. Have a good one. Bye.